just ask a few questions. So, I guess the first question is a lot of opinion. What's the number one message that you'd like to send back from today?
Well, it's all about jobs and the economy. And what we have here in John Boccieri is we have somebody who votes lockstep with Nancy Pelosi. He votes for cap and trade. That's a job-killing bill. He votes for health care. I mean, when his constituents didn't want him, he votes with whatever. I mean, he stood here and talked about a lot of things, but what he really needs to stand here and talk about is why is his voting record always with Nancy Pelosi.
Now, I guess one question that voters might have is if you've criticized Mr. Boccieri for voting with Nancy Pelosi 94% of the time, can you name an issue or two where you would break with John Boehner if you were to become Speaker?
Well, I think those issues will come forward in the future, but what I would always say in the past, I would vote no against a lot of these bills because they deserved a no vote. So it isn't voting with John Boehner, it's voting no for the constituents of the 16th district.
I believe the gentleman right here mentioned that sort of middle of the road is best for legislating from this country. Are there any examples that you can give us of areas that you might break with your party areas where you would show independence from your party?
Well, if our party, if the Republican Party does things that do not allow jobs to be created, if they do things that do not represent the 16th district, I would vote with those because at the time, we need to worry about jobs in the economy. And but at this point in time, I think the Democratic Party is doing that, and that's why ours is
What's the movement like in the district? I'm sure you've been going to these types of what's the movement?
People are very unhappy. They're very unhappy with the spending, very unhappy with the job losses. They're unhappy that Mr. Boccieri votes 94% with Nancy Pelosi. They want somebody to represent them. They don't want somebody just to vote for whatever Nancy Pelosi is putting down the chance to overcome.
And I know one of the things that you've been criticized for, some of that criticism is in your car dealership when you took part in the Cash for Clunkers program, but then criticized the program and said you didn't support it. Can you sort of explain that contradiction?
Really sure. The Cash for Clunkers program, a lot of people don't understand.
I'll give her your card.
Pulled forward car sales. I mean, I lived it. Pulled forward car sales, and then after that, car sales plummeted. You know, so it's like anything else. When the government gets involved, it causes nothing but problems. It caused a pull forward of sales that were going to occur anyway, and then after that, the sales fell off. And by the way, the interesting thing about that is they quote numbers that were received in the Cash for Clunkers program. You got to remember that in that number was an amount that I had to pay for the car. So there's very little made off of those Cash for Clunkers deals.
Why did you take place in the program in general, though, if you wouldn't support it yourself?
Well, as a business owner, you got to do what's best for your customers. If a customer comes in and says, I have a car that qualifies for Cash for Clunkers, I got to work with my customers.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I thank you for your time. Again, I appreciate you coming out here and doing this. I think it takes a lot of guts to be able to hold these types of things. I think our country would be well suited going around doing this. So
thank you for being here.
I appreciate it.
Where are you heading to now?
Heading back. Gosh, go get some food. What time is it? It's almost 9 now.
Yeah.
I'm sure you haven't had dinner either. So I hope I hope you're able to get some soon. I've worked on campaigns in the past, and Lord knows I know it's a tough schedule. So hope they find time for you.
Thanks again.
Anyway, thank you again. I appreciate it. Y'all take care.
How you doing?
Thank you for indulging me. I tried to break up the tension a little bit.
I appreciate it.
Maybe I didn't succeed as well as I wanted to. I had some other points to make.
Actually, I don't think there was
breaking up the tension to me was more important.
I love the opportunity to stand toe-to-toe with Mr. Boccieri, and he goes down his path and he talks his rhetoric, normal rhetoric. All we need to do is keep comparing what he's saying to what the truths are and the facts are. And
I wish there were more business owners in Congress, or at least had some practical understanding of economics, not just university.
Right. Well, there's 62 people. I believe the number is 62 people, business owners run for Congress this year. So it's a first.
I own 3 businesses, small businesses. There's no way in this current scary environment that I could legitimately commit to hiring somebody. I can't look somebody in the face and saying, I'm hiring you conditionally know, just
because of
only if it works
healthcare,
out.
cap and trade, all those things,
Just
in
the
uncertainty
basic-
and predictability.
There's three things. Uncertainty, which is predictability. The confused mind, any salesman, if you're a salesman, if in your business, any salesman knows the confused mind says no. Uncertainty means that we're confused. It means we're unlikely to commit to any new obligations.
Uncertainty will do it. I agree with you.
The second thing is the fact that our government believes, that our current government believes, that they're wise enough to choose who could be successful and who can't, is false on its premise.
One of the biggest
The
problems.
American people are the ones that should choose, and when you say the American people put their money in their hands, and by the way, jobs are not the issue. People buying things from American companies is the issue. If people are buying things, then businesses will hire. So saying I'm going to help you hire somebody is ludicrous. That's trying to target something in the middle. You know, if you guys could do anything, I don't know if you can march on these orders. I'm going to Congress to see how many laws I can get rid of.
Less government.
75,000 pages a year.
Less taxes, less government.
Isn't that what the register said? I'm going to Congress to see what I can eliminate.
That's what
Because, and if we can eliminate the tax law, how many billions of dollars go into just tax CPA? How many billions of dollars go into administering the current tax law?
It's very complicated. Very complicated.
It's irrationally complicated. Now, I know that's not fair to the poor CPAs and lawyers who make their living, but you know, they could find a good job, a good enough job after we get rid of their necessity.
Okay,
Anyway,
thank you for
Jim,
being here.
thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
indulging me.
No, thank you. Appreciate you being here.
Mr. Renacci. Okay, oh yes, Courtney, you did. Did you have an assessment of your evening? Were you surprised for Mr. Bocherry or Congressman Bocherry to show up?
Well, Mr. Bocherry did not, we invited him. We did not know, he did not notify us, but he was invited. He showed up.
I talked to one of his supporters, and his supporter says that he thought he treated Congressman Bocherry very respectfully.
I'm not sure what the question is.
Well, the question is, that's just Jim Renacci, is that correct?
Jim Renacci believes in respecting the congressman and everybody else in elected office. So absolutely.
Where do you think the major difference came out between the two of you tonight?
Again, it's a pretty significant difference. Mr. Bocherry believes in big government. He believes in the policies of Nancy Pelosi. Jim Renacci believes in less government, less taxes, personal responsibility, and a strong military. And so there are two extreme differences here with candidates. I've created over 1,500 jobs. I've employed 3,000 people. That's a big difference. I understand what it takes to create a job.
Thank you.
Thank you.